you were the first director that Michael Bay actually handed over the reins to, which is a big deal. So
It is.
Was there any passing of the torch conversation, and then how was it working with him as a producer?
Working with Michael was great. We sat down early on and had multiple conversations, and it was a real thrill for me, you know, director to director, to sit down with somebody and pick their brain on their process and the way they approach story, the way they approach character, the way they approach cinematography and visual effects. Because he's been the shepherd of the Transformers franchise for the last decade, you know, he really knows these characters. And it was important for me to understand how all that worked from his perspective. Now, of course, I knew that I was going to do my own thing, but it was really important for me to understand what his priorities were. As a producer, I couldn't have asked for a better partner there, because he knew that this was going to be a different kind of a story, and he knew that this was going to be my film. And I think that as a director himself, he knows what a director needs, what kind of support he needs from the producer. And he basically said, hey, this is your film, and I'm going to support you, and I'm going to protect the movie as much as I can. And that's exactly what he did, and that's you know, that's a dream for a director.
You could feel that collaboration in watching it, how it is your thing, but it also respects the franchise as a whole, which I'm sure fans appreciate.
Well, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the films. I'm a fan of the cartoon, and I wanted to make sure that this film had a foot in each world, and really did respect, you know, what the fans love about this franchise, because that's what I am.
Are there any stop-motion filmmaking techniques that came in handy here?
I think so. I mean, I think it came down to, you know, a lot of I used every single trick at my disposal in this movie, and then some. I had to learn a bunch of new ones too. But part of it came down to the way we approach visual effects. And, you know, we wanted to try to capture as much stuff in camera as possible, which is what we always do in stop motion. But then just the physicality, the tactility that you know, that I bring to the stop motion table. I wanted the CG to feel like that. I wanted it to feel real. I wanted it to feel like you could touch it, and I wanted the emotion to be real. And so, weaving all those things together with this great team at ILM, I think we've got something pretty special.
Speaking of those new techniques, anything you're going to take back to Leica with you?
I can't even begin to say. It's a whole new bag of tricks, and that's one of the things that I was most excited about in this process. Is I knew I was going to learn something new. I knew I was going to do something I'd never done before, and I was going to come out of the experience with a whole new host of processes and tools and relationships and experiences that I was going to be able to apply to what I do down the road. So I think it's going to be exciting to bring those new tools into play.
And how about something that could be somewhat familiar, like directing an actor in a sound booth? Do you have to use different techniques on this because it's not stop motion and it's something different?
I mean, it's largely the same. It's a little bit different. You know, oftentimes when you're directing actors in a sound booth, they don't have the partner in the scene with them in the room, and so you have to play the scene a number of different ways, because you never know what the other person's going to do, and you craft that performance in editorial. So there was an aspect of that to a degree in this film, because Hailee her co-star isn't there either. For most of the film, she's acting against thin air, and so a lot of those same tools you bring to play. But yeah, I mean, you got to be nimble. The urgency, the speed on a live action set is so much quicker than in an animated film, and you have to give into that kind of energy. And it's exciting, it's thrilling when you're creating something in the moment, and particularly when you have an actor as talented as Hailee Steinfeld, when she's, you know, she puts aside all the frenzy of all the stuff that's going on as we're trying to make our day, and she creates this kind of beautiful, subtle, quiet moment. I mean, it's just magic.